The path we're being guided down as we make this transition started several years ago. We have been considering the possibility of looking at some other opportunities that were going to take us out of El Paso, but bring us closer to family on the East Coast. And in every step along the way, we have considered it all very prayerfully and prayed really specifically for doors to be opened for the right opportunities and for doors to be shut if it's not where we're supposed to be. We're pretty convinced that God has a plan for our lives, and we have put this in His hands and have watched with delight how the pieces have fallen into place.
With every other opportunity that we thought was going to work out, it didn't for one reason or another. But with this opportunity, it seemed pretty plain to us right from the beginning that this was what we were supposed to be doing. This was the plan. This was the path that we're supposed to walk. The enthusiastic response to Bess's interview, the almost immediate offering of the job, things working out with my mom that she could go with us and so we wouldn't be leaving her here. The ease with which I found a job almost immediately, and then an hour after I was offered the position, we found the perfect house for the three of us. We have a connection to the Congo in Johnson City. Rukon, many of you know Rook, or have met him when he was here with Pastor Schwarting or Tom. But everything about this, everything has just been made plain. All the rough places have been made plain. And so we firmly believe that this is what we're supposed to be doing.
In terms of a timeline for our transition, we've got a lot to do. We're going to be in town for probably about 6 more weeks. And by August 1st, we will be in Johnson City, Tennessee, starting our new jobs.
What are we looking forward to in our new home? Well, this is a very selfish thing, but some of the best motorcycle riding in the country. But no, seriously, it's...
seriously, that's the truth.
It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the country. It is something very different from my previous 50 years in the desert. I'm really looking forward to a new opportunity, a new challenge in my work environment, and just getting to know something different.
I'm looking forward to having 4 seasons. That's going to be a change of pace. Everything is very green there, and so that's going to be a nice difference, that we're looking forward to experiencing. Mostly looking forward to being within a very short drive of family and extended family, all in that part of the country. We will miss you, but we're looking forward to seeing them too. I moved to El Paso about 14 years ago and spent a little time visiting other churches, and came to Trinity-First. It was one of the ones on my list, and I was greeted immediately by Gene Collins, who you will all remember, and by Bud and Jenny Satterwhite. And I came back the next Sunday, and they remembered my name and greeted me like I was an old friend, and that was pretty great. What sealed the deal for me, though, was when I came to the Holy Week services. It was just a couple of blocks from my office, and so that week leading up to Easter, to be able to come and worship every single day in such a lovely community-wide service was great, and I was pretty sure this was the place for me, and it has been. And
then I started dating this beautiful woman who went to church every Sunday, and I did not. I had a very deep spiritual connection through my recovery program, but I never went to church. Bess talked me into going to lunch one day with her discipleship class, and where I immediately met Tom Stanton, Chuck Horak, Kelly Groves, Lewis Duffy, Tom Lujan, and Sue, can't forget Sue. Immediately really enjoyed everybody. Started going to church. I remember very distinctly, I was working nights at the time, and I had talked to Bess on Saturday night, told her that I was going to go home and go to bed. I knew it was going to be a long night, and I decided to surprise her. So I walked into the church in the middle of the service, I had my motorcycle jacket on, carrying my helmet, and I plopped down right next to her. And I felt this very strong hand on my shoulder, patting me like, "Hey, good guy." And that was Bud Satterwhite and Ginny, and I immediately fell in love with everybody. I knew that I was home. I had never felt that sense of community in a church in my life. And it was about maybe a month later that I stood up and joined the church, and then shortly after that, started becoming very involved. This has been really my only church home as an adult, and man, we are really going to miss you guys horribly.
So, what will I remember about El Paso? When I first got here, the thing that impressed me the most was the sky here is very big. It's very big, and I spent a lot of time standing outside just looking at the sky. And so that I will certainly remember, and the beautiful sunsets and the wonderful storms as they would roll in across the desert occasionally. I came here to take a job at UTEP and loved it, and loved my students, and loved the people and the whole environment and the whole vibe of that institution of access and excellence. Working for Dr. Natalicio was a dream. It really was. It's been a wonderful place to be. Such a strong sense of community, and nowhere more evident than in our church. Trinity-First embraced me and made me part of the family really quickly, and I will remember that forever. Thank you for that.
El Paso is my hometown. I wasn't born here. I got here at the age of 6 when my dad transferred to Fort Bliss, and I've been here pretty much ever since. Moved away a couple of times, but managed to come back here like a bad penny. Kept showing up. The food, the culture, the music, the mountain, the star, the relationships, the lifelong friendships that I've developed here. This is going to be a bittersweet change. I'm not going to lie. This is my comfort zone. But as we all know, there's no growth inside your comfort zone. El Paso will be here when we come back, and so will you. And we'll always remember everything fondly. Can't wait to come back and visit.
The slogan that I would come up with for El Paso is, "It's a well-kept secret."
Can't top that.